All right, we are going to work on some guitar chords. So I have another video where we were talking about what to do to make the chords actually come out. Now the first one was just hand position. It's crucial, man. It amazes me how much effort people will put into doing something wrong. Okay, if you don't do the requisite steps, for instance, you're going to become a baseball player, but you don't want to learn how to bat and you don't want to learn how to run or catch. Okay, there's fundamentals to every single task you will ever do. You can't fix a car if you don't know how to use a tool. That's just how it goes. So with this, if you don't have your hand position correct, now correct is going to mean a lot of different things depending on what we're playing. For instance, if we're doing a lot of lead guitar stuff where there's bends, I'm going to suggest you have your thumb up on the top of the neck like this. It gives you something to push against. If you are trying to do classical technique where your thumb's in the middle and you're just pushing solely with your fingers, you're probably going to hurt your hand. We need that extra leverage. It just makes it easier. By the same token though, if you leave your thumb up here and then you're trying to play some other various chords, you're going to find that it's just absolute murder. You need to have your hand stretch out. I already went through that. We're not going to cover it again. We're going to get into how to learn chords now. So the first thing is going to be that we absolutely have to make sure that all of our fingers are straight up and down. I covered why in the last video. But what we need is we're going to be doing this a couple different ways. First thing is, anytime you learn a new chord, make sure you can hear every string. Slightly out of tune, we'll deal with that. Okay, straight up and down. Now when we switch from chord to chord, this is where I usually have people start, is from E minor to A suspended. The reason being that it's just two fingers back and forth, I'll include a diagram somewhere. But you need to get used to moving your fingers in conjunction. You don't move finger, 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 finger. That is absolute murder. It is a horrible habit to get into and it will never sound good. It won't. Because until you get just blazingly fast at doing that, everything you play is going to sound blocky. You're shooting yourself in the foot. We're back to the technique thing. If you can't use a tool, you can't fix a car. So we need to make sure our fingers move at the same time. That's what all of your effort goes into when you're learning a chord at first. So we're going to do from E minor to A suspended, back and forth. Music is counted in fours, so what we're going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then back. Okay? It needs to stay steady. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be really annoying if I talked like this all of the time. Okay? That's what it sounds like to people when you're trying to play chords and you're like, no, wait, I got the next one, I got the next one. No, you have to keep it in time. I don't care how fast you can play this. If you can't switch that fast, do not practice it that fast. You're shooting yourself in the foot, you're wasting your own time, and I don't want to hear about it. If you're one of my students, I'm going to beat you up pretty hard until you do it the right way. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't care if you do 1 a second, like just 1, 2. It needs to stay steady. It's not just, can I play this 4 times? That's the simple part. What we need to do is, can I play it 4 times and make it sound even and good? You can speed up good. If you do 1, 2, 3, 4, stop, that pause will never get out of there if you try and do it that way. So from there, what I usually have people do is an E chord, and we work on moving it up and down, kind of the Spanish thing. I usually refer to these as like the 2 songs the first day kind of a thing. You know, it's not terribly difficult to do, but again, you're moving your whole hand up and down. See how my fingers don't move individually? It's not slide this one and then move this one and then, no, the whole thing has to shift up and down. Consequently, it means that if we're moving across strings, the same thing needs to happen. Now, this is significantly harder because when we do E minor and A suspended, these 2 fingers, it's easy to get them to stick together. When we add this other finger, the problem is that it has to stay in the relative position, like the shape of the chord. You should be able to pick your fingers up, put them right back down. This is one of the ways we practice it. Play the chord, pick your fingers up, put them right back down, and try and hit it immediately. Up, right back down, try and hit it immediately. If you've done that a few times and don't notice that, like if something's still missing, like you're missing a string or blocking something or whatever, then slow down, get your hand right, pick it up a tiny bit and back down, tiny bit and back down, then work on up higher. Now we're not going to move our hand a lot when we switch either way. It's going to be little tiny movements. See how my fingers barely clear the strings? That's what needs to happen, okay? This is not an optional thing. It's how guitar works. See from this angle, let's see, let's do that one, okay? When I do from, we're doing E to A minor now, see, you can barely even tell my fingers are moving. They're all going over a string, but they're going over at the same time, okay? It's not do this finger, then do this finger, then do this finger, and then do it. No, absolutely not. Spend the time in the right areas. If you can't use a tool, you can't fix a car. So that's going to be the two beginning things that, well, three actually. We're going to do E minor to A suspended 4 times a piece. We're going to do E to this, I call it the weird F. It's an F major 7 sharp 11, also known as the Mexican thing. And then E and A minor. Every single one of those, you can make a song out of it, and you can basically learn those your first week. Okay, more advanced chords next.